Cathryn, and this is 5 Questions with GEO. I think if I won the lottery, I would travel to Europe. I really want to see Spain. I haven't been to Spain, so I'd like to experience Spanish culture, like taking a siesta in the middle of the day and eating at midnight, which I can do here, but it doesn't sound as classy. I think my perfect weekend I've had many times in Hongdae, with walking on the back streets and finding a small coffee shop that's hidden and staying for a couple hours to do some reading. Or I also really enjoy seeing new parts of Seoul or seeing new parts of Korea. So my perfect weekend would take me to one of the hidden gems in the country to try and see a little bit more of this new country that I've been living in for a long time but haven't seen very much of. About 3 or 4 years ago, I was teaching children at an elementary school, and my elementary school was quite big. I was the only native teacher, and I saw over 500 children a week teaching these kids. And one of my students, I'm pretty sure her name is Minsan. And Minsan, the first few weeks that I had her as a student, she didn't say very much. She was very shy. She was a 5th grader, and she didn't talk in English at all usually. She just was very quiet and very shy. And I remember one lesson, I made a game that was a little bit of competition, a little bit of running, and she was paired against the fastest boy in the class. But he wasn't paying attention when I gave her a question, and both of them had to answer quickly, and she answered quickly, and her team got the extra point to win, and she was glowing with this happiness, and I could feel that she was happier having shared her answer in English, and her team was really happy, and she was just this big grin, you know. And I think from that time on, I saw her open up more as a student with using English in class more and more. So I think games are an integral part of learning because they can show students that it's a good learning tool, but also good to have fun with the language, which is really important when you're learning one. Actually, I don't have one. I really don't. Sometimes I like to tell my students less is more, because in Korea I see my students memorizing pages and pages of vocabulary words, and I think that can be great for things like TOEIC, but when it's talking about a natural conversation, the information that you're going to remember is the information that is related to you. The information that you're going to need to know is the thing that you're going to say to many people. So I always try to tell students, limit what you want to study, because if you can memorize the adjectives or the tenses that you think that you're going to use more often, these are the things that are going to be more practical for you. For students, especially in Korea, it's so easy to feel overwhelmed with the number of things to study and learn. And I think that everything is obtainable in smaller parts. So kind of memorizing one part, but not memorizing the entire book. Or maybe not even memorizing, but just outlining things that you think are going to be more important for you and that you can use immediately, that are practical for you. These are the things that I think are going to be helpful. And maybe not for things like TOEIC or TOEFL or OPIC. Well, actually OPIC's a little different. That'll be helpful for OPIC because OPIC's a more natural test. But I think when you're having a conversation, the things that people are going to ask you are about you, and as long as you know the kind of information that you would tell a person about yourself, that's always going to be useful to you. That's been 5 Questions with GEO Professor Cathryn.